So, you got the four-wheel drive. You've got all the gear. You've got some time off from work. Now you want to go camping. But you don't have any money left for the supplies. You don't have any money left for the gear. You don't have any money left for food. How can you go camping on a budget? Let me show you some tips that I think will help you out. The first thing you want to do if you're going to save money on camping supplies and the stuff you need to take with you when you go on a trip is remember a simple philosophy, frankly, that will serve you well in life in general. And that's this: if it's free, it's me, and please give me 3. Just remember that. It's trademarked, by the way. If you reuse it, you have to give me a royalty. If it's free, it's me, and please give me 3. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you need some water for your trip, right? You got to take water with you when you go out to the woods or to the bush, right? What you do is you find a gas station that has one of these bad boys. There you go, all the water you need. And then you're gonna need some paper towels or some other stuff to clean up with or to wipe with, right? Hey, I got your back. Take all you need. If you've been watching my channel at all for any length of time, you know that camping food is not crap food as far as I'm concerned. You should eat good while you're out camping. But that doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money on the food. Let me show you some of the kind of bargains you can find that will make your budget camping trip a reality for you. So, knowing where to go to get the bargains is half of the battle if you're going to be budget camping. So, check this place out. The name tells you right away, Save a Lot. So we're gonna check this place out and see what kind of bargains we can find for our camping trip. The soundtrack in this place tells you everything. It's a sweet place with sweet deals. For example, who doesn't like grilled corn when they go camping? 59 cents a piece. I'm not exactly sure what a hog maw is, but it's cheap. That's definitely a camping bargain. Put some water in the kettle to boil, you're ready to go. So this is an interesting product that's marketed in the US. 60% less sodium than salt. Accent. Wakes up food flavor. And if you roll it around, the only ingredient, monosodium glutamate. Just the king of flavor. So this is a Southern American classic boiled peanuts. If you've never had them, you should try them. 2 for $3, baby. Save a Lot was gold for the deals for camping, but there's even something else you could do. Let me show you. So behind Save a Lot, there is a gold mine of potentially good items that you could cook up on your camping trip. Let me show you. In fact, you can see that there's a group of people already picking through the available things. You see all those styrofoam trays from the meat department? There are some edible pieces of food in that container, I guarantee you. Cook it right, season it right, put a little marinade on it. Nobody in the camping trip will know, and you can just stick with something safe. Save money if you're required to cook for the crew. Another significant expense that can be avoided when you go camping is by being careful not to travel too far. With the price of fuel right now, if you can limit the amount of distance you travel, you could save money and afford to go on that camping trip you want to do. Look at this beautiful area here. Right on the edge of these woods. Gorgeous place. And it's within 1.5 miles of my home. See, right here on the back of this neighborhood. How did I find this beautiful place? Well, I'll show you. That gate was open. That gate was open. So this reminds me of another one of the sayings that you should remember that will help you. If the gate ain't closed, they ain't opposed to your entry in camping. Remember that. If the gate ain't closed, they ain't opposed. Otherwise, they would have closed the gate, right? Yeehaw! Look at how inviting our place. Given the definition of the pronoun, I believe that means that I'm part owner of this place. Huh, I bet there's good camping down there. Another tip, find inexpensive points of interest to visit. You don't have to travel far and pay a hefty admission to see some interesting historic site. Those sites are everywhere. And for example, now I'm driving out into the woods to see a flooded river. Interesting sites are often cheap. Just remember that. Another tip, make sure you understand the rules of the place that you plan to camp. For example, no, wait a minute. Alcohol allowed, yes. This is my kind of camping site. And no diving. I don't dive, but swim at your own risk. Looks like a fun place to swim to me. Look at those trees in the middle of the river. Those are probably fun to swim around. This camping location has a repurposed Apollo-style NASA capsule, which is now being used as a restroom. How cool is that? Other things that you can save money on when it's camping related, or other camping related things you can save money on, is a cleanup. After you get back from a camping trip, you've been through the mud, you've been through the dust, you've got sand and mud and grit all on your vehicle, the undercarriage, in the chassis, all those places that, you know, the grime and the muck from the road and from the track stick. You could go to a car wash. You could copy Ronnie Dahl and stick the nozzle of the pressure washer into the holes of your chassis and clean it completely. Or, more economical solution is to find a road that's been flooded by a river and wash your chassis on the way back home. the cleaning happening. We're getting cleaner by the inch. Be careful though, this is also a good way to flush out your differentials, and you don't necessarily want to do that. This is the road, people. Now, one thing to be careful if you choose to drive on a flooded road, people, is you need to know where the ditches are and the ditches are not. So on this side of the road, there's a very shallow ditch. It's almost level with the road. This side of the road, there's about I don't know, I would say 6 to 8 feet deep ditch. So you need to know where you should be and where you should not be if you're going to drive in a flooded road like this. For example, right ahead of me, let me hit this windscreen for a second. Right ahead of me, you see that little yellow marker on the right-hand side of the road, and then there's one turn backwards on the left. There's a culvert that goes across there, and there's steep drop-offs on both sides. You need to know that if you're going to drive on a flooded road like this. Understand what the situation is, and don't ruin your nearly new vehicle because you wanted to drive down a flooded road. But it's a wonderful way to clean the underside of the vehicle. Now, the next thing to do after this is to grease all of your grease points and make sure that everything is still nice and watertight. This part's a little squirrely because there's fast moving water going across the road. Fast moving water going across the road. So forgive my shaky hands. I've got my hand on the steering wheel and the camera at the same time. It looks like there's enough rock underneath here that it's not a problem. I gotta be honest with you, if you're not familiar with the road, you shouldn't be doing this. This is a road that I used to come down every single day for about 17 years of my life. 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. And I'm very familiar with this road. All kidding aside, I hope the people who live out here don't experience any significant losses due to the flood and that the waters start to recede soon. It's a choice to live out in a place like this, but you don't want to see anybody lose their belongings and their family heirlooms and their photos and things that are special to them because of an event like this. So hopefully this will calm down soon. Several tropical storms off in the Atlantic coming our way. Not sure what's going to happen, but hope for the best. Very pretty evening sky. So, all kidding aside, you don't have to go to a far-flung place in order to have a fun camping trip. And you don't have to buy expensive gear, expensive stuff, expensive food, or pay for expensive fees to camp in neat places. There are a lot of options. Take whatever you feel would make you comfortable. That's key. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just take what you have. Throw a tent in the back of your truck and go. A cooler with some ice and some water, some drinks, some food. That's all you need. Nothing fancy. Don't think you need to get an induction range cooker or a 12-volt setup or an expensive, well, I won't say any names, I've got a couple, but an expensive tent. You don't need them. Just get something cheap, something you can afford, and go out and enjoy. And as far as finding camping spots, there are many options available. For example, is there any public land near you? Maybe there is a national forest or a state park or a state forest. In some cases, camping in those locations is completely free and a permit is not even required. Check the rules in your area. Search free camping in my area and you'll be amazed at the results that may pop up. Another option, there are privately owned properties that are set up for people to camp on, and you can find them using a couple of different apps. One that I like a lot and that I have used is called Hip Camp. I'm not sponsored by them. They're not throwing any money my way. I just think it's a fantastic platform that allows you to search for camping sites, some very rustic, some set up with water and a toilet and a shower. It all just depends. Check them out. Some even are set up for campers or caravans, so that's another option. Whatever the situation is for you, whether you have friends like I do that have several, well, I'm not sure how much they have, but they have acreage that you can camp on next to the river. If you like to go to public land like I do, there are options available to you to make camping affordable, budget friendly. So check them out. One last addendum to this video. I just want to share with you that I have started a Patreon account. I've actually had it in draft form for over a year, and I finally turned it on this week. And it is the sole purpose of the Patreon account, and any support that comes my way through that account is just to get me to Australia for at least one and hopefully multiple trips. So if you like what I do and you want to support my lifelong dream to get to Australia, that's how you can help me out. Thanks for watching my videos. Whether you support me on Patreon or not, that's helpful, and I appreciate your support that way. If you want to go the next step, got several different tiers on Patreon, and I hope that you check that out. Thanks.